getting in there and getting in on the bottom and kind of working my way up, it's really helped me evolve. I think now the company and the guys that I have, they all know where I came from. They all know that I've been at the bottom of the totem pole. I've sanded bottoms. I went into fiberglass then and carpentry and plumbing. And so I'd never put any of the guys in a position that I wouldn't put myself in. That helps me now as a leader.
Good morning, Voting Insider. I am really excited to start my day with Tom McGowan of EYS, Engineered Yacht Solutions, and talk about all the things that they've got going on. It's straight up just really, really cool stuff. I was introduced to Tom from Captain Kelly Gordon, and I think the email message said, oh my gosh, you two have to chat here, and just introduced us. And we jumped right into the conversation from backgrounds to work ethic to missions. And so we're here to let Tom tell us everything about him, how he got started in this business, what he's doing, and some of the really cool projects that they're a part of. So tune in. Good morning.
Well, thank you so much for an awesome introduction. And yeah, Captain Kelly is a friend of mine and a great customer. We've been working with her for a few years and done a lot of cool projects with her, and watching her grow and watching her evolve in the social media area and as a captain and as a leader on her yacht, it's been really cool to watch, and we're excited to continue that relationship with her and be a part of it.
Yeah,
she's going places, so we want to go with her.
She is. She's going places just from her own mission and passion. And you're going to be with her in Monaco in a couple of weeks. Right?
Yeah. So we're sponsoring one of her events that she started last year, the mental health crew mental health awareness event. And she did it last year at a Palm Beach boat show, and she's doing it again this year in Monaco and I think Fort Lauderdale as well. So we're really happy to be a part of that, proud of that mission. It's super important. It happens too often when crew members are kind of left all by themselves, and bad things happen. So we want to push that mission and help her.
I think it's an incredible mission. There's more that we could definitely talk about there. I was talking with Norma Treese yesterday, and she was talking about people don't understand how hard it is to work in this industry, especially being a yachty.
Yeah.
And she said there is a dehumanizing aspect to it that needs attention and support.
Yeah.
And I think all of this is just rolling out as a part of people like Captain Kelly that are, stepping up and putting a microphone to it. So really cool. Well, let's back up. Yeah. So that's what you're doing right now in support of somebody that's a pioneer in this area. But how did you get here? When did you get here? And tell us that story.
So I moved to America when I was 17. I came from Ireland. I finished high school in June. And on September 1st, 1999, I moved from Ireland to America and settled in Florida. My cousin was here, and he owned an Irish bar. He was the founder of Dicey Riley's Irish Pub in downtown Fort Lauderdale. So, obviously I got a gig there and started to work the bar. And my two sisters were here at the time, and then my parents moved over also. So basically we around that time we had the whole family here, my whole immediate family. And so it was an awesome transition. It was tough. I was 17 and I was, figuring myself out and making some good decisions and some bad decisions, but having fun while doing it, working downtown Fort Lauderdale back in 1999 and 2000. But soon realized that I couldn't continue to just work in a bar and work nights and drink too much and do all that stuff. So I had a friend, an Irish friend actually, who worked in Lauderdale Marine Center painting boats. And I told him I needed a day job and I needed to get out of the bars. And so I got a job working for a company in Lauderdale Marine Center, sanding bottoms and painting bottoms of boats, and started at $8 an hour and kind of just dove into it. And
a little bit of a financial transition from bartending.
Sure, I was making really good money working in the bars and having lots of fun, but I knew that it wasn't sustainable. So I needed a day job and figured I'd go work with my friend over working on boats, and never worked on boats before, never had any real experience with yachts or any kind of boats. And like I said, I just started to paint bottoms and kind of work up from there.
That's hard work.
It is. It's, the heat and the chemical that's in the anti-fouling paints, back 20 plus years ago, some of the PPE wasn't as advanced as it is now or, necessary in our minds, and it wasn't provided by companies. And so, you were sanding bottoms of boats without masks or without suits on and just kind of getting that stuff in your skin and breathing it in. It was an interesting time and I learned a lot, but it was the right time for me to enter the industry. And getting in there and getting in on the bottom and kind of working my way up, it's really helped me evolve mentally and as a leader. And I think now the company and the guys that I have, they don't ever see me doing that now, but they all know where I came from. They all know that I've been at the bottom of the totem pole. I've sanded bottoms. I went into fiberglass then and carpentry and plumbing. And so I've gone through a wide array of different trades within the industry. And so that's helped me understand where they're at on a daily basis. And I'd never put any of the guys in a position that I wouldn't put myself into, a few years ago. So that helps me now as a leader of men and women in the industry.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you started out painting boats, $8 an hour, and then didn't you go north for a little bit after that?
Yeah. So I'm married to a wonderful wife. Her name is Maureen. She's Colombian, and we've got 4 children. And we moved to Jacksonville, Florida back in 2006 or 7. We wanted to buy our first home. We couldn't really afford anything down here in South Florida. We thought we wanted to raise our kids outside of South Florida, so we went to Jacksonville, South Jacksonville, a little town called Mandarin, awesome little place. And I was working for Lures Shipbuilding, which is a sport fishing company. They build like trawler boats and sport fishing boats. And so I was working there for about a year and a half, and then the recession hit in 08, 09. And as a small boat builder, they were having a real hard time and struggling. And so I came to Fort Lauderdale and started working for a company down here and started to run crews at that time.
Okay.
So then a couple of months later, the kids finished school and my wife moved back down. She was up there for a couple of months by herself. And I got a good position down here working for a company back inside Lauderdale Marine Center. And that's when I really started to manage guys, supervise teams, and just build myself up as a leader and manager. And that was probably 08, 09. And since then, I've just kind of continued to evolve that process, gain the trust of the guys and gals that work for me, and just build great teams and build respect amongst my peers. And that's what's really helped me as well. It's a lot of people trust me and trust the process. And so that puts a lot of responsibility on you, but it's a good responsibility if treated in the right way. So I love it. I love the pressure of it all. And yeah, every day is an awesome challenge to continue to grow this thing, build it.
That's hard work also, right? So, I mean, the hard work of getting under the belly of the beast, of being on the hot sun and doing that manual labor. Yeah. But then and being a leader is not, that's hard work. And that takes continual awareness of how are you showing up? How are you being present for your team, for your employees, for the network in the marine industry? So, that's something I feel like our first conversation stood out very much to me is that is a big part of what you're here to do, right. And just building the company. So when did EYS come about? How did that come about? So
February, March 2015, okay. I got fired from the company I was working for at the time. Yeah. And quickly started up Engineered Yacht Solutions, got ourselves a 10 by 10 office inside Lauderdale Marine Center and a small shop on Ravenswood Road. I have a partner, his name is Axel King, and the both of us worked together for probably 4 or 5 years before we started EYS. And in 2015, we both started Engineered Yacht Solutions.
How many people in the company?
Just the 2 of us, okay. for about 6 weeks. And then a guy named Christian Acebo, who still works with us, who I had hired at the previous company, called and said, "Hey, Tom, I want to come work for you. I trust in you. I believe in you. And I want to come work for you." And so Christian had 2 kids at the time. His wife was pregnant with his daughter, Emma. And then she was born, I think, that summer. I remember being at her first birthday party. So Christian came over, and Christian is still with us. We call him numero uno because he's from Ecuador, but he was our number 1 employee. And he's
wow.
Yeah, really cool. A lot of love for that guy, for sure.
That's incredible.
So he came over, and then we kind of just built it up from there for a couple of years. We were 8 to 10 to 12, kind of in that range. Maybe 5 years ago, after maybe 3 years in business, we started to think we were hot shit and ready for whatever. And we hired a lot of people, and Axel and I tried to manage it, and we kind of shit the bed. And we hired too many people too fast. We took on too much work, and the product going out wasn't as good as it should have been. The quality wasn't as good as it should have been. And so we started to get, warranty issues and for maybe 6 months or 8 months after that, we were kind of chasing our tail and fixing things. And so we had to scale it back from maybe 30 people back down to, 16 or 18.
And that's a hard lesson.
Yeah, it was a hard lesson. It was definitely a punch in the gut. But it made me realize that, we can build this thing, but we can't do it by ourselves and we need real help. And so it was around that time that we just, three really important hires, a guy named Brian Sheridan, a guy named Calvin Burble, and a lady named Alison Cahoon, who all still work with us. They all had different kinds of industry history and experience, and hiring them three within the same 3 or 4 month period really allowed us to structurally set the company up for growth, because they could manage multiples of people and do different things themselves. And through them, we were able to then start to build up again and just build teams underneath them and structure, leaders and management in and around them. And that's really what allowed us to take the next leap. And so since maybe 5 years ago, we've been steadily growing. Now we're at, I think we're right around 100 people between 3 locations. When them 3 came on, I think we were at probably 25 or 30 when I hired the 3 of them. And since then, yeah, we've at least tripled and tripled our number of locations, tripled the number of people. And they've been a big part of the company's
solid
growth.
Structure within the company. So 3 locations, and how did those evolve? Did you just open one, the third one?
So we have 3 locations. We're headquartered and based in Lauderdale Marine Center, and we knew a few years ago that this industry is seasonal oftentimes, and we would build up a big crew and have 50 people or 60 people, and then hit a slow patch and not have a lot of work for a month, and then we hate the hiring and firing thing that a lot of companies do, and so we'd maintain our crew and we'd pay our crew. But we deplete our savings, and so we did that a couple of times and realized, okay, we gotta figure out how to not have that happen anymore. So we decided we need to open more locations so that we could have other options in other marinas in case we slowed down here. We could shift the crew around, and so we opened up in Palm Beach in Rybovich, and shortly thereafter we started to do work in Savannah, and we opened up a shop in Savannah Yacht Center. So our idea was to not be holed into one location or for one landlord, and so that was a good idea. But then over the last couple of years, Safe Harbor has decided to buy up the 3 locations where we're based, and so now we do have the one tenant, or one landlord. But it's a really great relationship, and we're actually really lucky to have them and their team. They're going to help us take our company to the next level, and we're going to support them and help them in their multiple locations. So Savannah Yacht Center was bought out by Safe Harbor earlier this year, and so we're a big part of what's going to be a great expansion up there in Savannah.
Wow, sounds like it.
Yeah, there's been a current partnership with Fedship. They've rented permanent dock space in Savannah Yacht Center, so now we have an opportunity to work with Fedship, who, in my opinion, is the greatest yacht builder of all time, and the big dog. And so, having meetings with them, having an opportunity to work on their boats and learn from them, it's an honor, and we're excited for the future.
We got a chance to be in the Fedship office yesterday. Ted opened up the doors, which is kind of enough. We had the sparkly wall behind us with all the name of the boats. It was pretty impressive.
Yes, it is impressive, and it's kind of mind-boggling to think of where we were and where we're going and who we're in the rooms with.
Really is. It's impressive.
Yeah, it's an awesome feeling.
Imagine if you had full control of your boat. You felt safer, eliminated the unknown, and you were able to forecast and plan for your boat's upcoming maintenance instead of being caught off guard. Can you imagine knowing exactly what is installed on your boat, down to the part and serial number, on all of your standard and custom equipment at a moment's notice? Having instant access to your manuals while at dock or at sea, and provide custom departure checklists specifically for your boat and your crew. And being able to ensure the value and the pedigree of your boat with digital logs recording the full history of every event on your boat. Well, you can. with Vessel Vanguard. We are the leading maintenance and safety management software in the marine industry. We work with a wide range of marine industry experts, including yacht owners, captains, ferry, and tugboat operators. If you're looking to safeguard your assets and preserve your revenue, visit vesselvanguard.com and schedule a demonstration for yourself. The link can be found in the show notes below. We look forward to supporting you and your vessel soon.
So I want to tap into your leadership and what are some of your core principles. But before we get there, what do you do? To somebody coming in from the outside, like, what is it that you do at EYS?
So Engineered Yacht Solutions, our two core industries that we work in are metal fabrication and welding and plumbing and pipe fitting. And so most of our guys are split 50-50 on metal fabrication and welding and plumbing and pipe fitting and that. And then we do a lot of, we've got a great crew that do heavy lifting and rigging. So oftentimes we'll build steel frames and pick up engines for engine repair companies or move just heavy pieces of equipment, shore power converters or whatever it might be. But that's our main focus is the plumbing, pipe fitting and the welding and fabrication. So, we've had an opportunity to build some awesome things and some parts for some really creative owners. And that's fun. And that gets a lot of spotlight. But oftentimes in the background is the plumbing and the pipe fitting, which is less social media. Glamorous, yeah. And it's harder to capture like the awesomeness of that. But we've got a really great crew in Fort Lauderdale. There's probably 30 plus people that work in plumbing and pipe fitting on a daily basis. Savannah, there's 12 or 13 plumbers, and in Palm Beach, there's probably 10. So they're, maybe the backbone of everything that we do. And oftentimes before we weld, we have to send the plumbers in to remove interferences and pumps and pipes. And then when the welders are finished, they got to go back in and reinstall it. So it's really a team effort oftentimes between multiple managers and multiple lead people within both of those shops.
So creative owners, what are some of the more creative projects that you've been able to chime in on?
I guess the one that really stands out is the owner who owns Gene Machine and Gene Chaser. So Gene Machine is a 180-foot yacht, I think, and Gene Chaser is a dom and support vessel which sits next to the yacht and where he's built a science lab within the yacht, and he kind of this all kind of came about during COVID. He bought this support vessel. He created or developed one of the COVID testers and was building that and testing that and developing that on his yacht, somewhere in the world.
Wow!
So he came to us and he wanted to extend the upper deck right behind the wheelhouse. So we built a whole separate room from aluminum. And then on top of that, as we're building this thing, he visited the vessel and said, "Hey, I want something on top too." So we built it structurally so that he could have a sun pad on top and awning posts and a whole other lounging area. And that was probably a year and a half ago. And then earlier this year, he came back to us and said, "Hey guys, I got another crazy idea, and I'd like to build a helicopter/airplane pad on the back of the Damen." So we said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." And then he told us we had 8 weeks, and we said, "Oh shit, what did we just agree to?" But we got Marine Associates who had worked on the boat previously, and we worked really well with. They're an awesome marine naval architectural firm that's based locally here in Fort Lauderdale, and they've got a really great engineering staff and naval architecture staff, and so they really kind of got behind this thing quick and worked with the captain to help design this thing and then tell us, what parts to build it with.
So I want this done in 8 weeks from concept. I mean, we haven't even, there's no draw-ups, there's no, wow.
So typically it would probably take 8 weeks to do the engineering design on something like this. So we had to do it in good faith and in stages. And basically we started to build the thing before they had the whole concept fully thought out. But we knew what the parameters were going to be of it. And then they continued to develop the inner workings of this thing as we were building it. So it's a 3-part helicopter pad that sits atop 2 containers, 2 20-foot containers on the back of the dom and support vessel. And so, and then the kicker to all this was the vessel had to leave after like 4 weeks. And so they went to San Diego So we built a thing in Fort Lauderdale, dry fit it the best we could, kind of mirrored up what the containers would look like on the back of the yacht. And we in our shop, we put the containers where we thought they needed to be and fit this whole thing in place, and then put it on a truck and send it to San Diego. And it fit, luckily enough, it fit first time. And so that was a really... Oh, yeah. We were all doing we were all doing that for a little while. But that was an awesome experience. That owner is one of a kind, and he had this idea, and it's really cool to work with an owner and a crew like that, where they understand we're giving you this impossible task and we're not exactly sure what the hell this is going to look like in the end, but we know we can do it, and here's a pile of money and get built.
We trust you.
Yes. And so having that trust and having the belief, and then having a team to really work around the clock and build this thing, it was an experience.
I'm sure you have some video, photos.
Yeah, there's some really great stuff online about it. And it was a team effort. The vessel was located not in the yard we built it in. We actually built this thing in Bradford because Lauderdale Marine Center didn't have any space. It was during a busy time of year, and so we needed 100 feet by 100 feet of groundwork to build this thing. And so we ended up working at Bradford to build this thing, and Bradford is awesome, and it's a great location, and we do quite a bit of work over there with them guys too, and they kind of opened the door and let us work around the clock to build this thing. And without them and their ability to just kind of let us be cowboys and build this thing, it probably wouldn't have happened. So
I love that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have to cut to some of those photos and showcase that. My aviation history. So you just paint two sides of my brain of excitement of I love the creative side. I love the cowboy reference of we're going to grip it and rip it and figure this out.
Yeah, and it had to be built. It's a helicopter pad, so we didn't know this in the beginning, but for a helicopter to land on this thing, it's got to be built structurally in a way that's capable of taking that force. And so and it's also an airplane storage area.
So it's not airplane. It's prepared to handle the airplane landing.
Yeah,
What kind of airplane?
Not a landing. So it's a water airplane.
Yes. The seaplane.
The seaplane would land and come up next to the vessel, and then there's a huge crane on the boat that would picks the plane up and puts it on the pad.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So now they've got there's two containers. They've got a covered workspace with electric and lights in the bottom of the pad, and then on the top there's railings and awning posts. And now they've got a whole sun pad, lounge, party area when the airplane or helicopter is not in place.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
So we'll jump back to some of your leadership, because one of the things you said, and you actually said it with Christian that came, was it Christian that said it?
Yep.
Yeah, that said, I want to come work for you. So a theme in this industry, multiple industries, is that we're losing a lot of life experience. We're losing some of the legacy players, and there's a shortage of people. And you don't have that right now, right? You're growing. You have 100 plus employees. And you said repeatedly people will come and say, I want to work for you. So what are some of the key things around there that you think have contributed to that? And where are you at in your 4?
So I think for me personally, it's being accountable to everybody around me, and understanding that, this is not just me. This is 100 other people, 100 other families that rely on me and my leadership on a daily basis to secure my future and their future, and create a place to go to work. And I think being accountable to people is something that not every leader does, or when you get to a certain level of what you might think is successful, you think you don't have to be accountable to anybody, and you think that your shit don't stink and you can kind of do whatever you want. But in reality, keeping your ego in check, being humble, and being accountable to your people is something that I kind of work on a daily basis to make sure that I keep myself in check. I have a wonderful wife at home and 4 children, and that helps me. That grounds me. We live out in Western Broward County. We're not glitzy. We're pretty basic, and I try to bring that same core belief to work. You got to show up first every day, which I do most days. I stay as late as I can, which is not always as late as everybody anymore, but I work probably 12 hours every day, and I'm there more than most people, and so just being there for everybody, having everybody see that, know that, I'm putting in the work so that I can continue to build this thing for you guys, with you guys, so that we can build this thing together. And when they see that and they buy into that, then it's kind of an unstoppable force, when you get the team behind you. It's a beautiful thing. And so, I don't know. I'm not a super educated person. I don't know what the best qualities are or what it really takes. And there's a lot of people that are way more successful than me, but I just have a good work ethic. I'm humble. I don't have a big ego, and I work every day.
And you care about your people.
Yeah.
One of the things you said when we were chatting on the phone was this was a forever thing. Yeah. This isn't a flash in the pan. Right. I want to be a quick success and sell it and make the money. This is a legacy for you. Right. But you also said that you want it to be a place where professionals can come and make their careers, that they can expand their careers, which is, you care about these people. Yeah. They're an extended part of your family, it sounds like.
They really are. We do a lot for the culture of our company to build up our employees, whether it's helping people with car loans or house loans or credit repair, just being there for them to help them through the daily grind of life in general. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy these days. The cost of living is through the roof. South Florida is an expensive place to live. And so, we try and pay at or above industry standard for our guys. We do a lot of bonuses. We do Christmas bonuses. We do July 4th bonuses. We do job bonuses throughout the year. We do 401k match plus. There's benefits.
It's incredible.
We do a lot of that stuff on the background. And we've done benefits for the employees since before we were 1 year in business. We knew that, that's something we needed to do. For retention of good people, you got to provide good benefits and a good place to work. And it's not all about the dollar, and it's more about, what else is there. The 401k is a big deal, and really educating our people on that over the last couple of years has been
why
awesome.
It's a big deal, why it's important.
Yeah, the insurance. We've had guys who play sports who tore ACL, who couldn't work for a couple of months, but they had the short-term benefits, so they got paid 75% of what they would have typically got paid, and then we helped to cover the rest. And so, just stuff like that, just doing that for
it's incredible.
Yeah, and
my guess it relates to your customers.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the most important part of what we do is our employees, but the second most important part is our customer service and treating our customers right. And so if the employees are not happy, then it's going to show to the customer, and ultimately the customer is everything. And if our guys are happy and feel good coming to work and are proud of what they do, and then it shows to the customer. And having customers call and request, specific employees, which happens quite often, is an awesome feeling. And that lets me know that this is awesome. We're building a great thing. This isn't just about me, and it's not just my face. This is our company as a whole. And when I've got customers calling for specific employees that did a good job on their boat 6 months ago or 2 years ago, it's an awesome feeling.
That is a great feeling. Yeah. Very, very cool. All right. So there's the expansion of the new shop. So what is that? Tell me a little bit more.
Right. So we're growing a lot in Savannah. We're growing a lot in Palm Beach, but we're also growing a lot in our headquarters in Lauderdale Marine Center and South Florida in general. And so we need more space. And so I've been knocking on the LMC door for quite a while to get more shop space. And there's a long list of people who want to be there and work in there and for good reason. And so we kind of got creative 6 months ago with the leadership at Lauderdale Marine Center, and we found a space out in the yard, kind of a forgotten area in the back corner, and we thought it'd be a great spot for us to build a new shop. So we made a drawing and we proposed it to management, and they agreed to it. And so basically, we're building a container shop where we've got 4 40-foot containers, one on top of the other, and then we've got a huge big top tent connecting them. We've got multiple offices inside and workspace. So we've created a whole new, 2,000 square foot workspace for our guys within Lauderdale Marine Center. So that should be completed within the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to move our whole fabrication team out there, and then it's going to allow us to expand our machinery and equipment within Lauderdale Marine Center. So we're going to have some proper metalworking equipment that we've got some offsite, but we're going to make it easier. We're going to bring it all in-house.
That's incredible.
Brake press, shears, a bigger mill, bigger lathe, that kind of stuff. So we're expanding within LMC and
good for you.
Yeah.
Is there going to be ribbon cutting, party celebration?
We're definitely going to do a fancy schmancy cocktail hour, grand opening or grand reopening of the new shop and the old shop. So
you said that was when?
Probably. Well, yeah, you'll know. Mid-October, probably at this stage, right before the boat show, I think. Once we get everybody in town and we have all the right people here.
That's perfect.
Right before boat show. So we'll make a big splash.
That's fantastic.
We like to throw a party. We're pretty good at parties. I started the social media stuff a few years ago and knew it was important, but I'm not really great at it. So a couple of years ago, my daughter graduated from UF and was going in a different direction and wasn't coming to the industry. And then, for whatever reason, decided that she wanted to come work with EYS and get into the industry. And since then, since Eric came on board a couple of years ago, it's really allowed us to grow our social presence online, and our event presence and whatnot. And then earlier this year, January 9th of this year, we hired Travis, who works alongside Era. So now we've got a real marketing team with two really competent people that have kind of taken over from me and just ran with it and made it better than I ever could have. And it's only just getting started.
It shows. Your social media is impressive and it has an edge to it,
right,
has a vibe to it. You want to watch it. I mean, so they're doing a great job and it stands out for sure.
It is. And the next couple of years with that's going to be super fun. Era just had a baby 8 weeks ago, so she's been out on maternity leave and Travis has been kicking butt by himself. But she'll be back in the next month or so, and then we've got some great ideas, and between the two of them, they're just going to take it to the next level.
That's fantastic.
A lot of followers, a lot of new content, a lot of great events to come. Yeah.
So hard work. So work hard, play hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you've had
absolutely.
2015, 2023, right? So we're at 8 years and just hard charging and growing, and doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon.
No, it better not. Keep it simple, stupid. That's my favorite acronym, and I say that to myself every day. It's like don't complicate things. Don't do the wrong thing. Just be honest. And when you mess up or when we make a mistake, put your hand up and fix it really quickly.
Fail fast.
And fail fast. And we've gained the most loyal customers from failing fast and doing the right thing to get them back up and running. And so we preach that. We want a twice a year customer for the next 20 years. Twice a year for 20 years. That's what we preach when we have our team meetings, and that's really important to us. And I think that's lacking within the industry sometimes is the real care for the customer. And people will hate on maybe the wealthy owner, but this industry is an amazing industry, and it's given my family and many other families the opportunity to reach for greatness and be around amazing boats built by amazing craftsmen from all around the world. It's a hell of an opportunity, and not just in South Florida, but all over the world. We're working hard on the daily to make sure that the owner, the captain, the vessel as a whole is just treated right, and we put our best into it. If we mess up, we'll fix it. But that's not very often, but when it happens, it happens. And just doing the right thing for people.
Doing the right thing.
We don't try and complicate things. I'm not smart enough to complicate things and keep track of all that. So we just got to keep it simple, stupid. Like, do the right thing, be honest about it, and push on.
So with the growth of, obviously, the new, or the expansion to the new facility at LMC, I'm assuming you're still growing and you're hiring additional members to the team.
Yes, it's pretty much nonstop, and our social media is a big part of that. We actually just hired somebody in our office who, during the interview, said, I've been watching you guys online for more than a year, and I've been wanting to come here. I've been wanting to get this opportunity because the culture within the company seems so awesome. And that was like, it blew me away, because you put a lot into the social media and you often don't know if it's paying off. And it's kind of a roll of dice sometimes. But when you hear things like that, it's like, holy shit, it's working. What we're doing is the right thing, and we got to keep on pushing. So Yeah, with the growth, we've got a lot of people. We've maintained a lot of people over the last few years, but we are constantly looking for more. I think in Savannah, we're going to need to triple our employee base up there in the next 6-12 months. We could add, in South Florida, many more pieces. So yeah, we're always looking for the next person, the next leader to come in, the next awesome welder, the next amazing plumber. We've got some of our best people have come from home plumbing. They've come in and they've just kind of taken the bull by the horns within the shop. And so you don't have to be, marine industry experienced. You could be a house plumber. You could be a stick welder working, structural buildings. Really, when we hire, it's about what's in here, not always the technical ability, because we can teach that. We can't teach somebody to be a good person and make great decisions, but we can teach somebody how to be an awesome welder or an awesome plumber. And so really when we hire, it's more based on the person as the individual as a person and not the individual as a skill set. So, but yeah, always looking, always wanting to hire, more people. We're constantly growing.
Fantastic. Where would somebody go to apply or look for an open position?
So they could go on our website. There's a link on there for how to apply for a job, or you could send us a message on Facebook or Instagram. We're constantly looking at that stuff and monitoring it. So we'll see it.
Oh my goodness. Anything else? Good. All right. I think that's a wrap.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.